Hello everyone, Lawrence here with our second weekly tech and hardware show. The show where I take the 5 most interesting tech releases or product announcements of the past week, week 48 this time, and talk to you about it in a more or less 10-minute long video. So let's dive straight into it, and I'm going to start with a monitor. This one's from ASUS ROG. It's the Strix XG2 eSports LED LCD screen. So it's a 1080p 240Hz display because obviously you can never have a high enough refresh rate. It also comes with FreeSync instead of G-Sync, which is going to be a little bit difficult finding an AMD card that can actually push those FPSs, but then you don't pay the 150 euros extra for a G-Sync version. So this is a 24.5-inch TN panel. I kind of like the idea of, 24.5 inch. It's perfectly right for not looking all over your screen and having to move your head when you look to the minimap, for example. It should be spot on size-wise. TN means, of course, fast response times, which you need. You can't do this sort of stuff with LCD and not yet with OLED. But what's really interesting to me is that it has a blue light reduction mode. Super important to me. I'm also going to mention it on Friday with my BenQ monitor review. I just love blue light reduction because it actually helps me sleep a lot better than not having it. Now, the RGB and the logo projection don't really interest me at all. What I do like though is the amount of adjustability, so you can really get comfortable when you're going for really long gaming sessions on this one. You can just pause the video if you want to read the full-on specs, but I think this was enough of this monitor. Let's move on to something else. Now, why do I mention a mid-tier case? Basically, I just like the styling of the front panel. It kind of reminds me of those Dell servers, and I kind of think they look good. I would prefer the red to be white and then with an RGB light behind it to have more options, but then there is a white version, so you can easily do that with RGB yourself. The interior isn't too impressive. There's just 2 front intakes, 1 rear exhaust, some rubber grommets, which are really hard to come by these days. No one's doing rubber grommets anymore. Full-length power supply cover with room for your hard drives underneath, triple hard drives, triple SSDs, and what looks like horrible cable management. But again, I just chose this video or this case to go into this video because I just really like the styling of the front panel, and it might be something that I just buy because Silverstone doesn't reply to my emails. Up next is another thing that I selected just because I like the idea. The new Mionix Avior Mice. Now, everyone loves the Avior Mice. They're awesome for gaming and everything. And what Mionix is doing right now is they're just food theming all their hardware. And you can get it in a bunch of different colors. So this is the ice cream version, for example, of the Avior mouse. But you can also get it in red, or frosting as they call it. It just looks super cool, really, and I would just love to get all these products myself, combine it with their keyboards. The French fries version in yellow also looks really cool, and I just like the whole way they're marketing this. It's something different, and that's why it made it into this week's video. Now, shark fin, I'm not really sure if that's politically correct on the gray, so maybe they should change that, but then what food are you going to find that's actually gray? Not an awful lot, right? Moving on to the second display in this week's show. This one's completely different. It's the Philips 356M6QJAB-75. Yeah, I don't want to review this thing, the name's too long. But it's a 35-inch display with a really cool feature, namely the Ambi Glow. So on the back it has RGB lights which will illuminate the wall behind you in the same, more or less the same color than what is projected on your screen. This will also help with eye strain because the back is now also illuminated in a similar color, so there's less contrast, and it can actually enhance the watching experience an awful lot. So this is going to be really interesting. 35 inches, and hopefully I can actually get one for review. Now, the thing that bothers me is that it's only 1080p. Now, I'm testing a 27-inch 1080p display at the moment. That's borderline acceptable on sharpness, so I really wonder what it's going to look like at 35 inches, because that's a lot if you're sitting really close to it. Other than that, Philips lists some more low blue light modes and all that sort of stuff, flicker free, which is going to help me a lot when filming it, but then I don't really have a review sample yet, so who knows. But I would like to really test this one if only it had a better name than this. And then to finish off today's show, we're going to look at a case from Thermaltake, which isn't actually a case. It's a metal triangle and 2 pieces of tempered glass. Now, Thermaltake includes a PCI extender cable. Lovely. So this is the P90 tempered glass. I'm going to go straight into the gallery because this is an old one. As you can see from just the pictures, it separates the main PC thing on one side, and then on the front you get your storage and your liquid cooling loop, because this obviously needs a custom liquid cooling loop. It's ginormous. It's not very space efficient. It's going to be a nightmare to keep clean because of all the black and the dust that will inevitably get on it, but rubber grommets, or at least one of them. So yeah, this is a really weird product. It's not something that I'm personally into, but I would like to see how case manufacturers are going to evolve in the future, what sort of really weird stuff they're going to come up with. Are we going to see more separation, funky shapes, maybe get an L shape or a U-shaped PC case, who knows? It's an interesting future ahead of us. Anyway guys, that was it for this week. Comments, feedback on the show goes below in the comment area. Please do that. I really want this show to be as good as it can possibly get. And yeah, that's basically it. Guys, if you want to support the channel like the awesome people up here, there's the Patreon page. And if you want to get more frequent updates, there's an Instagram link, so go check that out as well. For now though, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.